Today, some big developments. The judge approved dozens of settlements, and we've also learned that 2 families have already been paid. NBC4's John Klimek is at the school in Florence, and he's been going over the numbers. John, you found that this could mean, what, more than $1 million for each of the children here?
Yeah, Chuck, depending on how they structure the settlement. We'll get into that in just a second. I want to point out that there have been 2 settlements that the district has offered now. The first happened in March. Most of those approved today. They're coming from that settlement. The other settlement happened in June. There were 2 cases in that agreed to take the settlement. So we're still looking at 35 cases unsettled, and still both sides pointing the finger at the other, claiming that they are the ones holding up the healing process for these victims. Back to school at Miramonte Elementary in Florence, where normalcy continues to hit some curves.
Continuing the conversation about what, as a district, we can do to continue to ensure that we are doing everything possible to protect students.
LA Unified has settled 61 cases stemming from allegations of abuse by 2 teachers at Miramonte. Mark Burnt, who has nearly 24 charges against him, and Martin Springer, both accused of improper sexual contact with children. Attorney Ricardo Perez represents 2 students who settled with the district and are the first to have already been paid some $470,000.
It's a case in which there are no winners. My clients feel that they can now put this chapter behind them. They can try to move on with their lives.
Details of the settlement are under court seal, but Perez says the judge approved it on the condition of a structured payout. LAUSD offered this idea, $50,000 to start for therapy. At 18, the students would get $30,000 a year for 4 years. That's to perhaps pay for college. By 25, they'd get a $50,000 lump sum, and then at age 30, they'd be paid monthly, about $760 for the next 40 years, compounding with 2% interest by the district's count. That could become more than $1 million over their lifetime. But attorneys who have not settled their cases call this a farce.
The school district and their attorneys have never been honest with the public.
Attorney Luis Carrillo represents 23 victims, one of which has also settled.
The majority of our clients will not settle unless there are structural, profound changes implemented by the school district to protect the kids.
For the district's part, it says it's doing what it can to protect children and taxpayers as well, but at a major cost.
It's going to continue to eat up the resources that we have available to settle these cases.
The deadline for the latest settlement was on July 5th, so that's already passed, but the district says it's still willing to negotiate to avoid any type of courtroom drama. As for those that were approved today, it means that the payouts can now begin, which would take over the next few weeks. Reporting live at Miramonte Elementary School, I'm John Klimek, NBC4 News.